couple of weeks, a month, about a neighbor who is running a kennel out of their property and letting their dogs out all day, night, 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Sounds like a pack of wolves when they let these dogs out. They're not little dogs. We've been calling, my wife and I, and we kind of get the feeling that the village thinks that we're standing alone. Unfortunately, a lot of my neighbors who are here this evening left. Still have one neighbor here. I have a signed affidavit from all my neighbors stating that they witnessed the problem. You have 2 trustees that witnessed the problem. You have a code enforcement agent that witnessed the problem, but nothing's being done. I don't understand. How come nothing is being done?
Want to run for dog catcher?
Try to catch 11 dogs. These people have 11 dogs on their property. Is that allowed?
No.
Right now, they're operating under a license for the town of Brookhaven.
Does that license give them the right to disturb the neighbors?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Okay, so when the original complaint came in, I don't know who you spoke to, I only got involved in it recently with, trustee Sparry and trustee Suma. I've been there a couple of times, I didn't hear it, but I do know Sergeant Mancuso heard it, they heard it.
He took
I have a
pictures
tape
too,
of
right?
it, I heard it on the tape.
Yes, she
all right?
has it.
And what happens now is she was notified, and we were told, believe me or not, they are moving, all right? But they,
But did she apply for another license? And was
if
said
they
she
apply
couldn't
for
get
another
it?
license, it probably will not be issued.
Well, I was told that they had to go to the zoning board to get this other license. Now, if they were moving, why would they apply for another license?
I don't know, this is the first time hearing about it. They went to the zoning board? Who told you they went to the zoning board?
It's to me.
No, they haven't gone to the zoning board. They would have to, Mr. Brozier had informed us that they would have to go to the zoning board to renew the Brookhaven
So she
permit.
did ask about a license?
Yeah.
She did?
As far as, that's the
No, we
information.
asked.
No, the license is intact as of today, as
Okay, all
far as we
right, then I
know.
apologize.
It'll expire in October is what I'm led to believe, and that's which point she'll have to.
You know, I don't wanna put her out of business, I don't wanna hurt her livelihood, but somebody's gotta go over there and tell her to keep the dogs quiet. I don't care what she does.
And we're in the process of doing it, Frank.
Okay,
Right.
because last Sunday, 5 o'clock in the morning, Carol, you know? And it sounds like something you see in a movie with a pack of wolves attacking a prey.
It was ridiculous. And,
Right.
you know, I don't sleep in, some people like to. And unfortunately, a couple of my neighbors' bedrooms, friends being one of them, is right there.
It's like being right in the room with them.
You're serenaded by a pack of wolves.
I have guests over at my deck, you can't hear each other talk.
Frank, if you can, give me that signed thing, I will address it tomorrow and get back to you.
I will do that.
All right, thank you.
Dick Westhoff, 25 Blue Point Road. And I want to reinforce something that was said earlier by this young lady here about emergency housing. Sometimes the county is confronted with a family that they had to find a place for immediately. And I talk to people right down at the health center on Smith Road in Montauk. They have lists of people where they can find housing. And there are some people that make a living off of this. And I don't know if we have any in Master Beach, but I know that there are emergencies. You have people like mother and little children, they have to have a place to stay tonight. And we have to make some control on this. But that's one of the main thing I want to speak about. Now that we're a village, is the county still responsible for the vector control ditches?
Absolutely.
They are. Well, they haven't completed the winter work.
It's all part of the engineering firm we hired. We have a report, probably gonna be presented to Commissioner Gil Anderson tomorrow and Legislator Kate Browning tomorrow. They need to do something with it. Again, Maura, myself, and Adrian Esposito walk these ditches. They're dead. They're filled in. There's about, 15 inches of muck in them. Matter of fact, one of the kids on Hemlock almost drowned in it because she was stuck in it. Once you go in it, it's like quicksand, so you're sinking it and
I'm
you
very
can't get
familiar
yourself
with it. I
out.
have one went through my property.
We've been by your house, we've cleaned a lot of them drains. The problem we're having by your area is all the drains that go underneath Riviera Drive, they're all busted. So there's something happening in the mosquito ditch.
The other thing we want to study is the catch basins that the town put in originally, because they were concerned about the debris coming through the vector control ditches getting into the the water, salt water.
Yeah, we are on it.
But the catch basins had to be, I don't think they could do a good job, really, what they do. The high tide comes in, it fills the ditches, but then it don't go out.
That's because of the blockage of the pipes. Once we take care of that, hopefully in the next couple days, we should be in good shape.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's me again. This is for Bruce, actually. I know Bruce is working hard with code enforcement, all right? And I just had a suggestion. The one thing that I see, and which comes up here, where people come up and say, I called the village, I complained about such and such, and nothing seems to have happened. Now, a lot of times, that person may get a ticket, he may be waiting to go to court, but the complainant never knows. Now, with Osprey, we have complaint forms, which we started when we met with the trustees, me and Frank, and we send in a complaint form. There should be a mechanism where I send in a complaint form, you let us know that it happened. It looks like it just goes to the black hole. We don't know if anybody did anything, anybody didn't do anything. I'm not even blaming the village. They probably did do, but we don't know. And I'm doing it from a personal point of view, is every time I'm on a corner, I have to listen to everybody who hates the village because they don't know what's going on. It would be nice if there was a back and forth. If somebody complains about something, like Frank complained about the dogs, it would be nice if somebody told them what happened. Yeah. You know, that's all. It's some kind of a back and forth.
Okay.
To your point, Mr. Frank, to your point, I have suggestions on procedure that I'll be presenting in executive session later on, so I do have your concern.
I'm Natasha from 73 Long Tower Drive, and I want to address basically the same concerns that the village is doing nothing to rectify the situation at 172 Long Tower Drive. There's been numerous violations for over 2 years. All kinds of code violations, and even, I believe it was either August or October, that code enforcement went in and inspected the house and passed the house with the code violations.
Inside the house?
Inside the house. There's a rental permit for 8 people. There is at least 12 people living in the house for over 2 years. They are a nuisance. There's constant noise. They're disrupting the quality of life around us. The safety, there's no screens on the window. The kids hang out the window, curse, give the middle finger to me and my children, everybody else in the neighborhood. She knows.
Speak to the village administrator about that house, 172 Longfellow, you said?
172. The cops are there all the time. They know me personally. I know them personally now. I have a police report from yesterday. I have a notice from the 6th district that they've been, as of May 31st, they're supposed to be out of there. They're still there.
Evicted, you mean?
There was a stipulation.
Right, okay.
I have the copy if
So
you
the
want.
landlord moved to evict the
You
tenants?
can have it.
That's okay. That's a private matter the village can't be involved with. We can't evict tenants. That's a landlord-tenant action. Has to go to the town of Brookhaven, 6th District Court.
But like these other people are saying, that I've contacted the village, contacted, nothing's been done. And I talked to, and you want names, I can give you names. You know, Brittany, Teresa, Tim. I talked to them all.
And Tim said he hasn't issued any tickets on the property?
No, and you can look it up, there's no tickets. Because I just asked them recently, oh, we don't have any tickets. But yet it's going on right now, under their noses.
16 complaints.
Walt Meshenberg again, 142 Park Drive. I spoke to one of our trustees. I had set up for a landscape to come on my property to beautify my property. There was a complaint made about my landscaper. I did not know that a landscaper, he's Bayport Nursing, I'm not afraid of it, he's got the county permits, town of Brookhaven, anywhere else. We did not know that he needed a local village contractor's permit. The problem is, code enforcement told him to cease to exist. Mr. Mayor, trustees, you're more than happy, come over, look at my property. The landscaper complied. I've got 7 or 8 holes in my yard. This happened before Memorial Day, right before it. He was gonna do it in phases. A neighbor made a complaint. I don't know which neighbor, but I did speak to all my neighbors saying, hey, I've got a landscaper coming. I wanted to be courtesy about it. Say, hey, I've got a landscaper coming to make my yard beautiful, not to make it like an eyesore. Code enforcement, I'm waiting to get a statement from him, was very, I'm gonna say disrespectful. This is gonna be a few week projects. It's not gonna be an overnighter. They made them cease and exist and pull up shrubs. If you look on the neighborhood, the roadside, I've got a bunch of holes there. I understand the code enforcement policy, I understand it. But at least they should have let him finish what he did. He was gonna come back, and then he is gonna comply with the village contractor's permit. But what got me annoyed, Mr. Mayor and trustees, was, I went later on that day to look at all the landscapers in Master Beach, mowing yards, and who were actually advertised. Out of the 7 of them, 5 do not have contractor's permits. I'm not gonna rat them out because you're making a beautification thing. I don't care as long as it's not a safety violation. So my problem, what I'm asking, Mr. Mayor, this contract thing, permit, I understand why it's done, but I think we need to back off on it when it comes to, I understand if it's doing a building construction for safety thing, a porch, an addition onto a house, electrical, like I said, I think a safety matter. To landscape my property, or to make your houses look better instead of worse, I really got a problem with that, Mr. Mayor. Like I said, now I don't know when he's gonna get to it. He said he was gonna put in for the village permits. I'm gonna hold off until, I don't know if you folks are gonna change that with the contractors or not. Like I said, it's really disturbing. Like I said, come over to my house, you'll see the holes, Mr. Mayor. And,
Walter, when I found out about it, first of all, the code enforcement officer that was there was probably one of the nicest ones we have, very polite. When he went there and talked to the landscaper, he told him what he had to do, and the landscaper was very polite and said, yes, I'll apply for the permit, like you said. We actually called the landscaper, the owner of the landscaper up, who was the guy doing the work at your house, and he said that, because I wanted to make sure the code enforcement guy wasn't nasty, said that the guy was so polite, he allowed him to finish what he was doing for that day, and said, I will come back and get the permit.
okay, so there's a misinterpretation going on. Thank you, that was not explained to me, because.
Right, and I explained, trustee Suma got involved in it, and believe me, I always, the golden rule is there's 3 sides of the story. Yours, the code enforcement officer, and the truth.
Okay,
And what I like to do is, and you know me a long time, if there's a problem, I will bring all parties involved and say, he said this, what do you have to say about it?
okay.
And that's what we did. We went to the company, we spoke to the owner, who was the gentleman that was doing the work, and he said, absolutely right, the code enforcement guy was professional, gave me the opportunity to finish my job, and yes, I am coming back to get the
Okay, then I will straighten him out then.
yeah, and Walt, you know me a long time. You pick up the phone,
Well, no, as you know, in the military, you don't call the commander for.
when I need something from you, what do? I come to you, right?
Yeah, but also,
Okay.
30 years in the military, you don't go to the mayor for every little thing.
I know, but just consider me as a friend,
Right.
all right? Thanks, Walt. Yes,
My name is Terry Delestro, Frankie's wife. I have been calling, I'm the one who's been calling the village complaining about the dogs on 226 Orchid Drive. This has been going on way too long. I'm a patient person, but it's driven me way out of control because we don't get any sleep. We don't get any peace. I mean, everybody's entitled to go out in their yard and have a little peace and quiet. We don't get that ever, ever. And when I call and I'm treated like I'm a nuisance, I get very upset because nobody knows what it's like. Our window faces her yard. It's like they're in our yard. And they bark in our window 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock sometimes. I mean, it could be any given time. I mean, I've called her at 2 a.m. and she's apologized and said she's out of town, someone's watching her dogs, apparently they're not doing their job. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I'm so sick of her excuses that she's moving. In the meantime, I'm still hearing the dogs, and it's got to stop because it's gotten to the point where I want to move. And the thing is, we wouldn't even be able to sell our house now because no one would move into that house with that kennel behind it. So we're in a no-win situation, and it's just not right. And
No, you're gonna be in a win situation. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Frank's gonna give me that
yeah, because,
affidavit.
you know, I don't know her. I mean, it's not like we're at war with each other. I've talked to her like maybe 5 times in 20 years. And she's not done anything she said she's gonna do, so.
And, you know, I keep telling everybody, if you're having a problem with any of the employees that work for the village, I need to know it that day. I give out my phone number, 631-478-1300. Please, don't hesitate to call me. I do answer the phone. Let's get back to this.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when I asked if anything came down, I'm told, oh, we didn't hear anything was down.
Can I ask you a question?
Over 20.
Has she
Well,
always
he's,
had the camera?
yes.
And this is always coming to surface?
No, I've called Brookhaven before.
So this has been an ongoing
Oh
problem?
my God, since my kids are babies.
Yeah, we're older now.
Yeah, we're old. But it's to the point,
Patience level is.
a lot of the neighbors have gotten to the point where they just give up. But I can't give up because it's out my
So
window.
you went to the town of Brookhaven, they
They did not
complained to them and
pay.
they denied anything, they said no.
They
we're
never
not.
did anything, it just continued and,
This has been an ongoing problem.
oh,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bill Peggy, 7 Cedar Road. You're getting a lot of stuff from people who are disappointed with the fact they make a complaint and they don't hear about it and all this sort of stuff. Maybe you could have someone as an ombudsman in town that would have a phone, get a special phone number. If somebody wants to call up and find out what's going on with what they complained about, that'd be their job. I'm sure you have a lot of this stuff on computers. It shouldn't be that much for somebody to get back to them when they have a little problem with the timing or something they complained about, nothing's being done. And it would save a lot of problems at your meetings down here because 90% of the meetings is on things that were complaints that weren't taken care of. That's it.
Bill, you're right. I mean, to put somebody just to wait for a phone call, I mean, I gotta put Frank on the spot. He calls me, I get back to him. He has an issue, I get back to him. Frank Capriello over at Osprey Point. I'm the guy who takes the rap for all the employees. I'm the head guy. I'm the guy that's gonna get beat up on it. That's why I need to know, and I will get you the answer. If somebody gives you a hard time or is nasty on the phone, I need to know right then and there that person's gonna be gone. You know, everybody, these people work for me, and by them being nasty, it's making me look like crap.
It's like a job description, though. You shouldn't have to get everything from
Exactly.
all communities. And if you give somebody the duties to take care of this, just an added duty, I don't think you would have that many phone calls.
It's not an added duty, it's part of their job. Somebody calls
It's part,
with
well,
a
whatever it
complaint,
is,
you
it's part of
take
the
care of
job, you make it up and you give it to someone, you put a phone number for her, and then you got the job, you get some answers, maybe.
it. All right, thank you, Bill.
I'm gonna see if I can do it for
Are you making a?
you. Yeah, I was gonna make it, but I'm gonna see if I can do it from here.
Okay, but make sure
And then I'll
you
fill
your
it out.
name and your address.
Yeah, Billy, I'm gonna try and do it from here because I can't get out, and I'll fill out the call when I get up there.
Just state your name, sir.
Okay, it's Art Cruz, 11 Laurel Road, Mastic Beach. One question I have for you, you said fires in our backyard. We can't have a fire pit in our backyard?
Under town of Brookhaven, under New York State, it has to be a UL-approved burn pit.
Okay,
It can't be something that was made up of a 55-gallon drum or a washing machine basin. Yeah, unfortunately, I had one of them in my backyard. But you have to go out and buy a UL-approved fire permit. That's the only way they'll let you burn it.
okay, my other question is, we talk about quality of life, okay? There's a blue car sitting on Neighborhood
Neighborhood
Road,
Road, that's up in the air. We already addressed it.
okay? If he can't get rid of it or do something, at least cover it.
It's already on our radar screen. And again, we can't get everything done in a day. It takes
Oh, I know.
time.
I'm just saying, you know, you ask for unlicensed cars covered. If you're ripping a car apart, cover it while you're not working on it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That's okay.
He's a fireman.
Listen up, folks. I can't hear you.
You will appreciate, I think, what I'm about to say. As a former school administrator and in-house
House Counsel, knowing that we're in the final week or two of school, perhaps when there are visitors, particularly younger visitors that are coming to the village board meeting, maybe you could make an exception to your meeting order of events and have them at the top. I'm just
I
suggesting.
agree with you 100%, ma'am. When she walked in here before the meeting started, I said, are you here to speak about the boys, young men? She said, yes, I'll put you on first. She said, no, I want to wait my turn.
Okay. The other thing is, I have a question that's more to inform me and the other taxpayers who are here. What is the procedure and who is accountable for information that goes to the board, particularly as it relates to financial matters? I find it troubling to hear that board members are handed documents, I don't know exactly when, either an hour or a couple of minutes or a day before a board meeting. They obviously have a fiduciary duty that they need to carry out, and they need to make an informed decision. So I'm just asking the question procedurally, if you weren't aware, and I think that's what you said, that it just came in today, who is accountable for that?
Well, it falls under the treasurer.
Okay. And
What I
does the
requested
treasurer-
from everybody is, so the board has time to review everything. Everything has to be turned in by Friday, so the packets could go out to the board members and they can research it over the weekend prior to the meeting, and they'll have their answers. I don't know why the budget transfer came in so late. I will definitely.
And that's a concern for me. as a
Correct, and it's a
resident.
big concern for me, because, why would you want to vote on something that you didn't know why it took place?
Does the treasurer normally come to meetings so that if there is a question, he or she can respond to board members?
We had the treasurer at the last meeting. He doesn't come to every meeting, but we do, once in a while, the treasurer or the deputy treasurer comes.
Okay. In terms of the internal controls, does the village have policies on internal control procedures? Is there an internal auditor?
We have
Who
every
looks at
policy
these
you can
things?
think of. Actually, we have our own auditing company that audits us every year.
That's
And
the
New York
external
State
audit, right.
Controller's Office
Requires
just
that.
finished auditing us.
That's correct. So you don't have an internal auditor
We have a company that we pay every year. We
That's
have
for
contracted
the
out.
external audit?
Right.
But on a month-to-month basis, they
No.
don't have? Okay. In terms of the management letter that came with the last external audit, was there anything relating to the procedures and/or the policies by which financial matters are acted upon by the village board, highlighted in that management
I
letter?
don't believe so.
And
I think more significantly, we're gonna have the audit that's coming from the state comptroller. That report should be issued, I'm gonna anticipate to the village, like 60 or 90 days, probably, for the state comptroller. They reviewed the village significantly, especially being so new. There was really the need for help. There are gonna be issues in that are gonna be action items for correction, as every village has in their response.
any municipality for
Yeah,
that.
so that's coming too.
Okay. And when board minutes are approved, I've gone on the website and I don't see all these abstracts to which you folks refer. As a taxpayer, I would actually like to see, once it's been passed, once it's a matter of public record, what is the interfund transfer from this line to that line, for what purpose? Just as an example. So where do we see the official, complete record of the minutes?
Basically, when the minutes that are posted are basically just the minutes. The abstract is not on there. We haven't put it on here, but I guess we can probably.
Well,
We made a resolution in the April meeting that the abstracts would be put on the website. We have been having some issues getting things properly posted on our website. We are working to correct that. Hopefully, it will be corrected, I think, in the next few weeks. We should start to see a lot more stuff going up on the website. There has been a glitch in getting the village meetings that have been done are supposed to be up there. And the abstracts, we made a resolution that was unanimously approved to get those abstracts up on the website so the public, we also made the resolution where they should be available for residents before this meeting as well, so.
And I don't think anybody has an interest in overloading the work of the employees in Village Hall, and that's why I'm asking these questions. If this public information, contracts that are approved, anything that is appropriate to be annexed to the minutes as an official part of it, it would help residents if we can access it without burdening the staff.
Correct,
And
like,
it's something to which we're entitled anyway, so why create?
correct, like trustee Sperry said, actually Friday morning, probably Friday morning, 10:30, I think, is we're going up to see the webmaster. There's a lot of things that we don't have the capability of putting it on here. So we have to send it up to him and it gets lost in transit or it doesn't get put on. But like it was said, everything will be put on here. Contractors list, who's eligible to work in the village will be on there. As of Friday, probably in the next week, there'll be a tremendous change in the way the webpage looks.
That's great.
It's gonna be more people friendly.
I appreciate that.
Right.
One last question. I know there were some residents who spoke about suggestions to add personnel positions to the village budget. Is there an official staffing plan that you folks approve when you approve the village budget? Or do you just approve, you know, a dollar amount based on existing
No,
staff?
there is a line item for each employee or each department that works at a village hall.
Right, but is there a staffing plan where you know what those line items are meant? You know, is that 10 full-time equivalent
Yes,
employees?
yes,
There
it's
is.
all broken down in the budget.
Okay, so then the next budget go-around, when that comes up, that will be a matter of public record, that will be attached to the board minutes so that people
Correct.
can see what the existing staffing is, projected staffing.
You'll see on code enforcement how many guys there are, sergeant and other people, DPW people, how many people are in here.
Okay, that's great. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Bring back memories?
Absolutely, I love it.
Okay. And one last point, you mentioned, you know, our 2 minutes of fame. Mr. Egan can attest to this. He and I both have had more than our 2 minutes of fame, and
Well-
not that we were looking for it.
I get beat up.
In terms of the card, I'll give you my post office address. I have been shot at, I have been threatened by members of the public. I am very careful in this internet age where you can find out where people live.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do not willingly give out my home address. So the village knows how to get in touch with me, I will give you my P.O. box as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And you can see it has not stifled me.
Yeah, one quick question.
Losing control here, come on.
Half a bird, anytime we go Ward Drive, making me walk. I'm hungry, I wanna go home and eat. Amen, I know, this is a long meeting. I noticed on the contract list, I picked it up about a week ago. There's only maybe 2, maybe 3 landscapers listed, yet there's a ton of landscapers in the area.
There's a lot more than that.
One at a time, I know. And I see them all the time going up and down at a neighborhood, you know.
No, but there's a lot more landscapers on that list.
Only
There's
4.
There's over 40 landscapers.
There's already over 40, there's 400 contractors on the list.
Yeah, I know this
Over-
time,
there's over
electricians,
40.
everybody. I'm talking about landscapers in general.
There's over 40.
38 to 42, right? Pat, I don't remember.
Bruce
what my
counted
count was. But there's 38 is the number that rings in my head. I think it's over 40.
No, because there was a couple on my block, and, you know, I questioned, and I asked them, and they said, oh, don't worry, we have a right, we have a Brookhaven Town Commission to
No,
do it.
if they give you that, then call me.
All right. I got one number.
Okay. No other, comments, make a motion, we close the public portion? Second. I'll accept the motion for anything else. Motion made by. Second by. Okay, thank you for coming.